Some fishermen just can't get enough river fishing. One of Mark's favorite winter fishing destinations is the Lower Niagara River near the town of Lewiston, New York. Legendary guide Frank Campbell of Niagara Region Charters jumps on board with Mark. The action takes place at the famed Devil's Hole, a stretch of the Niagara River that should be on every river rat's radar.
Look at that.
Yeah, baby.
That is a start.
Is that what that's called, Mark? A start?
That is what we call a start.
That's all we need. Got to get one before you can get two.
Let's see what
What
flavor
do we got?
we're
We got a
dealing
nice
with here.
steely.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful fish. Oh, my word.
Beautiful. You know, that's the nice thing, Mark. We talked about a little bit about it, but we're running minnows, and one of the reasons we're running minnows is because you get diversity. You know, you're going to still get steelhead, but you're also going to get Lakers, browns, maybe an occasional walleye. And I think that's the important thing, is if you want to strictly target steelhead, you use egg sacs.
That's a good point, Frank.
Nice chromie. You know, they're starting to get into their winter spawn or their spring spawn time frame, and we're not too far off it, but this fish is not too dark. Beautiful Niagara River steelhead, baby. Look at that bad boy. We'll take it. You got to go one before you can get two.
That's right. That is a very good start.
She's going to go. No harm, no foul.
Our guest this week was Frank Campbell from Niagara Region Charters. We've fished with Frank many times. You've seen him on the show before. He's very knowledgeable about this area, and he's an incredible stick. When you come, if you spend some time on the water with Frank, you'll go home with fishy hands.
What you have up here is you have a lot of water. You have basically all the water in Lake Erie flushing through a quarter-mile stretch, which is a lot of water. It's probably 60 feet deep in some areas, and then the bottom comes right up so that you're hitting, you're hitting boulders. It's the water fluctuates up here with the Power Authority taking in and out of water on both sides of the river, so you really need to know what you're doing. I mean, there's a possibility of hitting a motor up here. There's a possibility of hitting some whirlpools, getting into water you really don't want to get into. So, we're up in the Devil's Hole area, and one thing that I always tell people that are visiting here, especially with their own boats, is to, unless you come up here with somebody that's been up here, my high suggestion is to hire one of the local guides. No, he's not happy.
It's because he's got a trocar in his nose.
Well, we're going to let him be unhappy for a second, and we're going to situate and get ready to land him.
I hear you. I hear you.
It might be another steelhead, just by the way he took off, but that's the nice thing is you don't know. It's like the mystery, the unsolved mystery every time you hook up here. And especially if you run minnows or plugs, plugs will do the same. Plugs will have the same effect.
Well, now he's up where he belongs, so
Yeah.
so he's behaving a little better now. Ooh, baby.
They're not fiddling around with it when they find it. They want it. Oh, look at that trocar just barely hooked in the side of their mouth.
Yeah, we're not going to jab at him. I'm going to wait till I get a good clean shot at him. There we go. There we go. Oh, he's a little heavier than the last one there.
Yeah, double digit, no doubt about it.
That is a beautiful fish. I'd like to call him chromers, but he isn't chrome.
No, she's a true winter fish. She's been in here a little while, probably getting to the point where she's thinking about spawning. And,
Look at that. Look at that.
Just
that tiny little hook in the corner of the mouth. Look at that.
Look at that bad boy, Mark.
Yeah, congratulations. That's a beautiful fish. Niagara River. I mean,
yeah,
it's
buddy.
one of the best winter fisheries you'll find any place in the Great Lakes.
It is. I'm a little bit partial, but I would agree with it. It's probably the best freshwater fishing in the country.
So it's getting harder and harder to find good winter steelhead fishing, but this has been consistent for decades. So
yeah, it has. Man, the fish this year just turning out to be chunkers. Away she goes. Let's go see if we can get another one, Mark. You know, we actually drifted down, fought a fish, released it. Now we're in a little area off to the side where the current isn't as strong, so we can do a little re-rigging, get ready, and run back up. It's tough to just go up there and re-rig as you're drifting down. You really want to be efficient, so we're going to sit in the dead water area, we'll call it eddy, and get ready, run back up, and we're just drifting up and down at the speed of the current. That's the key, and making sure our sinkers are contacting the bottom and letting the fish do their business.
Special considerations are provided by Precision Trolling Data and the Lake St. Clair Walleye Association. Special considerations provided by the Ultimate Sport Show Tour, Michigan's elite sport shows.
You know, this three-way rigging that they do in the Niagara River is kind of unique to this region. You don't see a lot of people steelhead fishing, lake trout fishing, river fishing with three-way rigs. It's more something you'd associate with walleye fishing as opposed to steelhead fishing, but it works very well here. In my opinion, this is very similar to vertical jigging. If you've ever done vertical jigging, you're trying to keep your presentation straight up and down so that in a vertical jigging position, your jig is touching the bottom and you come off the bottom so you avoid the snags. Same thing we're doing here. You're letting the sinker down. As soon as it touches, you lift it back off. And you don't have to impart any action. You don't have to move the rod up and down. Just let the boat kind of dead drift, and the current is giving your bait plenty of action. The bite is I would describe it as sometimes you feel a tick in the line, sometimes it's just a sensation of weight. So it's a matter of just staying in control, keeping your line vertical, keeping that sinker just ticking the bottom, and holding on, because when a fish does hook up, you're going to have a great battle on your hands, an awfully great battle on your hands. I can see some color down there. Looks like it's going to be a laker.
But you never know.
Green fish, not a oh yeah, big laker. Beautiful big laker.
Come around you here, Mark.
Well, let's see if I can get him out away from the boat here where you can get a
good
scoop on him a little better. If I can get his head up. Look at that. Nice thing,
we reverse swam him in.
I don't care how he comes in the net, as long as he comes in the net. Now that is a beautiful fish. You know, the other thing about lake trout, I love catching them on light tackle, but there are not very many places you catch them in rivers. It's kind of a unique thing here in the Niagara that they come up so much bait, and it gives you an opportunity to catch them on light tackle in the rivers. That fish literally kicked my butt.
You know, one of the other keys to using your trolling motor up here is you want to create a natural presentation. And the way to create a natural presentation, obviously, is to go the same speed of the current or slightly, quicker. So in order for you to do that here on the Niagara River, I actually have the trolling motor pointed up into the current. The boat knows, similar. And we are going and finding the exact speed of the current. We have a little bit of wind pushing us down, so we're, again, using the trolling motor to slow our drift just slightly. If you overcompensate, your line will actually start going downstream. You'll end up with more snags, and it's not a natural presentation. So you want to present as natural as possible, and this is one way to do it, is using the trolling motor to your advantage. One thing that goes on is these lakers come up here and spawn in the fall, and there's so much bait up here, there's no reason for them to go back out into the lake. So we actually have an opportunity to catch them all winter long up here, feeding on the young of the year smelt from the spring. It's a pretty unique scenario, and it can be deadly if you're running the right baits the right time of the year, which is all winter long. You know, these holdover lakers up in a river system is, I would say that I don't know another place like it. Shallow water, lake trout all winter long. But the nice thing is, if we run the minnows, we have an opportunity to catch other fish. You know, we caught a few steelhead. There's some browns available in certain areas of the river, and also some walleye. You know, it's like a smorgasbord. We're trying to match the hatch per se. A lot of times we run egg sacs, but you're limiting yourself a little bit with egg sacs up here at this time of the year. If you run minnows, you're matching those young deer smelt in the water. So it's a good case scenario stealing from the fly guys where you match the hatch and you have success. So,
Turn his head this way, we got a good shot.
Definitely a double-digit lake.
There we go. Captain Frank, you always amaze me, my friend. That is a nice fish.
The Niagara River amazes me. There we go, boys. Niagara River lake trout at its finest, you know, in the double digits by far. Man, and he fought. I'm actually sweating. That's something to say when you're out here in February and you catch a lake big enough to make you sweat.
Special considerations provided by Bill Lewis Lures. Special considerations are provided by Procure, ruthlessly effective bait scents. Eagle Claw presents the 411 on fishing.
You know, one of the things I love about fishing is how many different types of presentations there are out there. And if you're looking for something that's new this year to you, maybe you want to take to your arsenal, I want to show you a presentation that's called power corking. Now, what power corking is it's pretty simple. It's a slip bobber, and I guarantee you fished a slip bobber before. That's how we all started fishing, whether we were bluegill fishing or doing a lot of different types of species. A slip bobber is a great method. But the thing about power corking is it's more of an aggressive way of fishing a bobber system. And it works really good when you team it up with our live sonar like Active Target. And basically what power corking is again, it's that slip bobber system. What I like to do is when I'm fishing a power cork, I like to first fish it with a braided line. I like about a 10 or a 12 pound test braided line as my main line. The reason for that is because I'm normally fishing power corking in a little bit deeper water. In that braid with the nose stretch, you get a really good hookup with that braided line. I have that slip bobber on the line, then I go ahead and I put a bead on there and I tie the weight. Now this is what makes the power corking type setup. When you look at a slip bobber, traditionally it's more of a finesse style of presentation, a little bit lighter weight, casting it out there and letting it slowly sink down. Power corking is not that way. It's very aggressive. And by that I mean I like to use a heavier weight, quarter, 3/8, half-ounce weights, and a lot of times I tend to fall on that half-ounce weight. I want that bait to drop super fast and get down to the bottom. So what I have is that little bit of a weight there. That's what makes it more of an aggressive presentation. I can drop down to the bottom very quickly. But that changes. Now I can put a leader on there. In this case, I'll run an 18 to 20 inch fluorocarbon leader to a small jig. Now sometimes I'll fish a small jig like this maxi jig that I have right here. Sometimes I'll put just a single hook on it and then I can fish a leech. So it's kind of that combination of finesse fishing and power fishing all in one. You can get to the fish quickly, that's the power fishing part of it, and then you can still have that finesse style presentation at the other end. Now power corking works really good in inland bodies of water, structure style of fishing. If you're in an area where there's a lot of fish that are close to one area, maybe near the bottom, it works really, really well. So you might want to check that out this year and maybe add it to your arsenal to catch a pile of more walleyes.
There's a fish. Had a little bit of a dry spell there, very little.
I think you're in a steelhead area too, Mark.
So we'll see here. I have not laid eyes on this girl yet, but we'll see what we got here. And, this is getting right down to that nitty-gritty spot down here.
Come help you out here a little bit, buddy.
I only got just a glimpse of her.
In the springtime, a young man's thoughts turn to steelhead.
Yes, they do. Let me back up and see if I can walk her right in for you.
Yeah.
There you go. We'll take her. We'll take her.
That's actually a little bit more chrome than the last few we've had.
Indeed it is. Whew. Yeah, baby. Finally, a steelhead for Mr. Mark. Had to work at it a little bit today. I broke one off earlier that was a nice fish. But man, beautiful, beautiful fish. Thank you again, Captain Frank. Well, disappeared in an instant. Poof, and it's gone. You know, the whole catch and release thing is something we're real proud of. Steelhead are a great resource, and I have nothing against a guy keeping one for the table. They're good eating fish. But you're going to catch so many here. Just enjoy them, put them back. If you keep one for the table, hallelujah. But let most of them swim so the next guy can catch one. It's all good.
Yeah, I'm not complaining. Beautifully colored male. Man, You gotta love it, Mark.
I'm loving every minute of this. You
caught
just
a
can't even
beautiful
imagine,
day.
Frank. I really enjoy coming here, and I really enjoy fishing with you.
Well, I would say that I'm a little bit impartial, but I actually love fishing this river.
Beautiful. There's a nice hook job, man.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful. There we go. Beautiful male buck Niagara River steelhead. Gorgeous coloring. He's been in here a little while. These are winter fish, but they're getting ready to spawn. You know, these fish are probably going to spawn March. We're about a month away. Nothing wrong with that. We'll let him go and let him do his business, but God, they're fun to catch.
Well, if you're a fan of Fishing 401, you probably noticed that we've filmed a fair number of shows on the Niagara River. One of the reasons we keep coming back, of course, fishing's excellent. You just can't deny it. Great place to fish. Lewiston, New York is a fisherman-friendly community. But the other thing is that the different presentations. You know, we've done shows on mag-lip plugs, caught some beautiful browns and beautiful steelhead doing that. We've also done the egg sack routine thing, so drifting with a three-way with egg sacks and caught steelhead doing that. Now we're doing, you know, the Triple Crown. Now we're doing the minnow thing. I'd never had the opportunity to do the minnow thing, and I wanted to learn how to do this. So the beauty of the Niagara River is there's a lot of things to learn. And again, going back to what Frank said earlier, if you spend a little bit of money and hire a guide, you'll learn these presentations much faster, and you'll be a more efficient fisherman when you come out with your own equipment.
Man, this fish is hot. Holy cow. This is when you're very thankful to have a rod with a soft tip, because that fish actually came up a lot quicker than what I was expecting for a wintertime steelhead, that is. You know, they should be lethargic. Well, this fish didn't get the memo. He's been pretty hot and right up top. The only thing is we were in that shallow water, you know, probably 10, 12 feet when he hit, and, you know, came right up and
hand that time.
proofs in a pudding. They're all good. Big, small, everything in between. This fish is actually pretty unique. It has very, very, very few spots on its
I
back.
noticed that. Normally above the lateral line there's a lot more spots.
Yeah, so this is a special fish all the way around.
Special considerations are provided by Cisco Fishing Systems and Striker Brands. Go early, go late, go prepared. Special considerations provided by Fishhawk Electronics and Daiwa Corporation.
Let's say you want to get involved in this fishery and you want to try getting started with this. You're going to need about a 7-foot spinning rod. Medium or a medium light action is going to be a good choice. About a 25 size spinning reel. 10-pound fluorocarbon, 10-pound mono is a good choice. Some of the guys here use braid. This water's pretty clear, so fluorocarbon is not a bad option there. The rod I have in my hand is a CAG A by Daiwa, and I also got a CAG A matching reel to go with it. This is a fairly expensive combo. The rod's about $200 and the reel's about $200. But in realistic terms, $150 to $300 will set you up with a world-class outfit for doing this. If you stick close to that 7-foot, medium or medium light, you're going to have a very good rod. And by the way, it'll work good for bass fishing and it's good for walleye fishing too.
So out here in the Niagara, you know, one of the keys that you really have to have on your boat is a trolling motor. And not just any trolling motor, you want a trolling motor that's going to handle the currents. So you want probably an 80-pound plus trolling motor, you know, 24-volt system. But the biggest thing after you get the right motor is, you know, being able to control it. So the nice thing about this motor is you can control it by foot pedal, but you can also control it by the fob. So I'm controlling it both ways, you know, kind of keeping my hands free at times, and then my, you know, being able to move around with the feet and further back on the boat. Fish.
Sorry, Frank, I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
Oh, what the heck, Mark?
It's so rude to interrupt a guy when he's doing an interview. But we're hooked up. And this one's fighting a little bit more like a lake trout. He's staying down. And there we go. It's so rude to interrupt a guy when he's right in the middle of an interview.
I can see you didn't go to manor school, Mark.
I got to go back here and follow this fish, so I want to baby him just a little bit because I did a poor job on the last hookup. But the dead giveaway here is that this fish did not come up quickly. The steelhead usually come up quickly. And I can feel these big thrusts, these head thrusts. And I can see him, he's right there. It is definitely a lake trout.
There we go. Oh, yeah.
Look at that. You know, the lake trout gets a bad rap in the Great Lakes. And fish like this on 10-pound tests, they fight like nobody's business. Man, lots and lots of fun. This guy, his nose is all beat up here. We'll get a close-up of that. The nice thing about lake trout is just about anything that swims in the river, they'll go right down to the bottom. They'll root out crayfish, they'll root out gobies. Obviously, they're eating smelt, emerald shiners, golden shiners, alewives, you name it. It's all in the system, and that's why they have fat fish.
This could be any month of the year. In all reality, there's good fishing pretty much 12 months a year up here. Similar style, it's just a different species or a different phase of their spawn maybe that we're looking at. It's nothing to come up here in April and have this type of fishing. It's nothing come up here in November and have the exact same fishing. So about the only months that we lack a little bit up here is June, and that's because we have a little bit of a weed or moss issue. But other than that, we're a 12-month-a-year fishery, and I don't think too many other places in the country can say that they have trout fishing from September all the way into June.
Oh, what a nice fish.
It's a Lake Troutosaurus.
He's a dinosaur. That is a dinosaur.
There you go. Lake Troutosaurus. Big old lake trout, Niagara River. 3-way rig, minnows, and a beautiful day in February. It doesn't get much better than that.
There is another hookup. Ooh, baby. Man, whoa.
Hey, what do you got going there, Mr. Mark?
I would say, Frank, that, whoa, there's that big boulder we keep drifting over. Every time we drift over that, I literally, my heart goes up in my throat. Every time.
We know where to go and not to go in the water levels, but if you don't, you really should.
I think this might be a steelhead.
Yeah, it's a steelhead, I saw him.
I think it might be a steelhead. It's a nice dark fish. Nice dark fish.
I saw him perfectly over the top of that rock.
Silhouetted over the rock?
Yes.
Nice colored up fish. Oh.
He isn't quite ready.
He wasn't really liking that too much. I tried to put the 99 on him, and that wasn't probably the smartest move.
He wasn't happening.
I think maybe we might have a little better chance this time.
There we go.
Be patient, it'll happen.
Oh, nice steelhead,
As it
Mark.
has today over and over again today.
Beautiful steelhead.
What a wonderful day on the Niagara River. Hey, my name is Mark Romanack, and I'd like to thank Frank Campbell from Niagara, USA, putting us on some tremendous fish. If you get an opportunity to travel this region, you really will be glad you came. World-class fishing, world-class people. Check it out. You'll be happy you did.
Closed captioning is provided by Lakeside Motorsports, Michigan's premier marine and power sports company. Fishing 411 is brought to you by Offshore Tackle, Lowrance Electronics, Starcraft Marine, Yamaha Outboards, Yakima Bait Company, Niagara Falls, USA, Smooth Moves, Bill Lewis Lures, and Jay's Sporting Goods.
This is going to be a steelhead. I kind of can tell because he's going berserko.
Whoa,
little guy. See, Mark, I told you we do have some little ones here, which bodes well for the future.